Hello everyone and welcome to my kitchen. This week I'm going to be talking turkey stuffing. So I've just pre-fried some onions here on the stove, they're warm, and I'm just going to show you how easy it really is to make your own stuffing. You don't need to get your butcher to do it because it's really very simple, and it also means that you know exactly what's going in your stuffing, doesn't it? So what I've done here is just to get the ball rolling, I've just fried some onions so that they're just nicely golden, and I fried them in butter. So the recipe's on the website, just in case you go, oh, how much is she doing? What's she doing there? So it's, I know that it's about 300 grams of onions. This is a Szechuan onion stuffing, so obviously the onions are an important part of it. I'm going to pop that back on the stove over there, not even got a worry in the world about washing it, the pan, and I'm just going to, sorry, attention seeking, I'm just going to chop up some bacon. So you can use pancetta if you would prefer to. So we've got the lovely Mondo Doro pancetta made with 100% Australian pork. So this is sort of like a streaky bacon, but it's not smoked. So if you prefer your stuffing without the smoked bacon flavour, then that is absolutely what you would be wanting to use, is some pancetta. So you can get that from us at the Providore. You can also get this beautiful bacon that we use. It's so popular, this Mondo Doro bacon, made with 100% Australian pork and made very close to us in O'Connor. So we visit the Mondo Doro premises on one of our City Limits food tours, and it's fascinating to see exactly how these small goods are prepared and made. I'm just going to pop this first lot of bacon in my pan, so this can be frying away. Very important to preheat your frying pan so that it sort of renders the bacon, or renders the pan a bit more non-stick. So I'm just cooking mine in the stainless steel frying pan. I'm not doing it in a non-stick frying pan, just cooking it in the stainless steel frying pan. In goes the second lot. So I've used the long bacon because I like the fatty bits on the end, because you cannot get crispy bacon from very lean bacon, right? So it just doesn't work. So I'm going to pop a couple of teaspoons of olive oil in here just to help it get going, and the fat will start to render out of the bacon as that is cooked. So let's go back to the other ingredients that we've got here. So I wanted to show you how easy it was to make breadcrumbs as well. Especially if you've got some older bread, it's much better to do with slightly older bread. So I've had a couple of pieces of my sourdough that I make at home out to sort of make sure that they're a bit stale, because if bread's too fresh, then it's just going to sort of clump together. So I do get rid of the crust, because they are very hard, of the sourdough, and just tear up the bread and just pop it into your food processor, and then I can just get this on quickly. So it doesn't really take very long to do this, and you know that you've got lovely sourdough breadcrumbs. There we go. So what I always do is I'll keep a bag of these breadcrumbs in the freezer. So if I ever want to do schnitzels, or if I ever need breadcrumbs for the topping of something, I've always got them in the freezer, and it just makes it so much easier to then just crumb your chicken or whatever you're doing. So that's my breadcrumbs. I have got some here that I have pre-prepared. I'm just going to move the processor over, and we'll take a look at that bacon over here as well. So it's smelling lovely. I haven't got this on too high a temperature, but I'm going to turn it up just a little bit now to get this going. because I don't want the bacon to go in at this point in time looking sort of pale like that. I definitely want to get a little bit of crispiness on that bacon. It'll just give you a much better flavour if you make that really nice and crispy. So let's go back over to here. So you can see in my bowl, I don't know which way the cameraman is. He going to go over to the other side? No, he's going to go over from here. You can see that there is quite a lot of butter in there, and that's what's going to okay, that's what's going to hold that stuffing all together. So I'm going to pop in my 250 grams of pre-prepared breadcrumbs, and I've got about 70 grams of cranberries here. So these are the dried cranberries, and I've just amended the recipe because I thought, oh, they'd be much nicer if they were just plumped up, wouldn't they? So I've actually just left them in some hot water just for 10 minutes or so, and just allowed them to be nice and plump. And then that means that they're not taking up any of that, any moisture from the breadcrumbs or the turkey or anything. So we've got nice plump, plump cranberries. And look, if you want to, you can exchange the cranberries for whatever dried fruit you want. Some dried apricots chopped up would be really quite nice. Some apples would be nice, dried apples. But I like the cranberries because I do like the colour. Now I can hear that bacon's frying a little bit more wild and crazy. So I'll just keep my eye on that and not go too close, because it'll probably spit and pop, because I'm trying to get it fried a little bit quicker than I would normally do it, because I've nearly finished the stuffing and I'm going to have to wait for the bacon. So I've got about 10 grams of sage here, and I'm just picking off the sage leaves. So just gathering them together, because those sage stalks are really quite woody, so you're not going to want those in your stuffing, that is for sure, because it's classed as a woody herb, and that's why it's so lovely in stuffings, is because it'll really keep its flavour. The other herbs you can put in here are thyme, rosemary, oregano if you want to. Parsley's pretty, and chives, but not a lot of flavour because they're really quite soft, and you'll probably lose a lot of the flavour during cooking. So I'm just wanting a rough chop of those sage leaves, and in they go. Use the back of my knife so it doesn't blunt it. And I'm also going to pop in some seasoning as well in here, knowing that my bread has got the right amount of salt in as well. I'm not going to be doing too much of that. And I did put in too much salt in. I did salt the onions as they were frying earlier, so I just put in the remainder of the salt in there like that. So I used the lovely Murray River salt flakes, and let's have a look and see if we've got a little bit of colour happening on our bacon as well. Yep, still quite lean, this bacon, so it is sticking a little bit. And the trick, because it hasn't got very much oil in it, that's probably why, but the trick is to make sure that your bacon's relatively dry. I'm going to pop a little bit more oil in there because I can see it's a little bit on the dry side. We're not going to get super crispy bacon, but it's starting to colour nicely now. So I'm going to stir this as well, get this sort of organised as well. So this is a breadcrumb based stuffing, and you can base your stuffing with lots of different things. You don't have to use breadcrumbs if you don't want to, but you could use couscous, you could use quinoa, you could use, what else could you use? Fricassee as well would be a really nice stuffing. Any of the ancient grains would be really nice as a stuffing mix. And if you want to cook this without actually stuffing your bird, then add an egg to it, and that'll sort of help it sort of stick together. So give it a good old stir, add an egg, pop it into a dish, and you can then bake it in the oven, and the top will go all nice and crispy and crunchy. So that's also another option if you'd like to. The other stuffing is stuffing style is like a mince. You can get a mince veal or a mince pork, and you can add lots of lovely things to it if you want to. Bacon and pistachios. You can add spice to it if you want to. But I really like the old sage and onion stuffing. It's really nice, and with the pop of the cranberries in there, it's gorgeous. The other thing you could add, if you're a lemon person, I like a little bit of lemon, but a little bit of lemon zest in there would be really quite nice, and that would just make it a slightly richer flavour as well. So let's get this bacon now off the stove, and I'll just leave it for a couple of minutes or a minute just while I let you know that this will be the final live at 5 on Wednesday for this year. We're going to come back next year with lots of lovely ideas about quick evening meals. So I hope you'll make this a regular slot, that if you can tune in on Wednesdays at 5 o'clock, then I will be showing you what I'm cooking for dinner next year. So we'll start that around mid-July. So if you're not on our newsletter, January, thank you, Mr. Cameraman. Thank goodness he's here, hey? So we'll start that mid-January, and we'll work our way through. And so yes, what I was saying is, if you're not on our newsletter, now's the time to get your name on our newsletter. So if you go to mattersoftaste.com.au and you go to the Providore page, down at the bottom, there is a little form where you fill in your first name and your email address. And then you will be included in my weekly newsletter, so you'll know exactly which recipe's coming up each week, and you'll get links directly to the recipe on the website as well. So let me just pop the rest of this in here now, this lovely bacon, and because I've gone a bit crazy high with this as well. Get that in. There's a little bit left over in there. And then, so pancetta or bacon, as I said, and this is just such a lovely stuffing. It's just really, really delicious. So I'm going to pop mine in the freezer, because we're a few days before Christmas, but I'm going to pop mine in the freezer and get it out when I'll just show you. That's so funny, Mr. Cameron. I can't work out where it is. So there you go. It's some beautiful stuff.